here that meetings were within the precincts of Parliament, because they are subject to sanitization, subject to Minister of Health protocols. But when you go to a hotel, how do you even know who was there last or who was there just before you? So it's something that perhaps I want to urge that you guide us on what we do between now and the time we go to break, so that we don't end up losing or subjecting our members to any further risks, especially with the surging numbers on a countrywide basis. Honorable Speaker, let me digress a bit, because I know members have also been concerned on one other issue about the delay in the financing of the operations in the county offices, in their constituency offices. And we've been in touch with the Treasury, with your office and the office of the clerk. And I think before the end of this week, there should be some funding coming out. And also, perhaps even change the mode. I think it's been going on a quarterly basis, and every quarter there's a delay. So we are in discussion, and was discussing with the clerk, perhaps we probably might need to release a 2-month and then every month, so that at least there's no money lying idle in a constituency. But then at the end of the quarter, you then end up with a month of disruption. So changing of that system so that there's a continuous flow and a continuous accountability might help to smoothen the flow. But I think the good news is you don't need to worry anymore. That action has been taken in terms of facilitating the operations at the constituency level. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Maybe now, finally, let me have the member for Kwanza. No, sorry, not the fine one. There was some...
thank you very much.
No, there is a member of the party. No. Eh? Now, please, let's eulogize the Honorable Murunga as a national leader, not a villager. Yeah. National leader. Okay, we'll have some. I can see some people in Buibui somewhere around here.
Mr. Speaker, you can see Justice Murunga was a friend to everybody here. I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, on my own behalf, on behalf of the people of Kwanza and my family, to say pole sana to our brother, a brother that I knew very well. Just as the member of Parliament community mentioned, I have gone to his constituency twice. He has come to my constituency once, contributing very, very handsomely for the betterment of the Catholic churches. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity. Also, maybe members want to know. Just as Murunga took almost 30 minutes to get to the nearest facility. And while we were talking about it with my colleagues at the cafeteria, the question came that we have a problem, Mr. Speaker, in case one of us have the same problem. And you know, look at the county facilities out there, do not even have oxygen. We were requesting, and I managed to talk to the clerk of this National Assembly, that be given, we should have a hotline for helicopter just in case there is a problem, one can be able to be taken to the nearest facilities possible. And those staying in Nairobi, for example, have a hotline for at least a hotline for the ambulance, which is well equipped to be able to evacuate whoever has a problem. I think it's important that we have a hotline where we have a problem. For example, when you're out there, you'll be able to evacuate it to the nearest place possible. Mr. Speaker, that's my request. Asante sana. Thank you.
Honorable Jaldesa.
Mr. Speaker, as I stand to condole my colleague, I will humbly request you also to consider giving at least the women rep from Kakamega to say something. Mr. Speaker, I would like to join my colleague in condoling the demise of our friend, our brother, Mheshimiwa Murunga. Mr. Speaker, he is what has been said, a very kind-hearted, humble man. On top of that, Mr. Speaker, he is a true African man. I remember my encounter with him in 2018. We shared a table for lunch. And then innocently, I signed for the lunch. He woke up, he was very furious. He destroyed that voucher and signed for the lunch. And he told me, in the Luya culture, they never allow a woman, and especially a beautiful woman, to pamper a man. And I hope the lawyers in this house will hold that culture. Mr. Speaker, from that day, we became very good friends. And every other time, when I was free, he will take me for lunch out of this parliament, but we were just good friends. Mr. Speaker, he is a man who really was very principled. He was a very principled man. And I don't want to go into other details because we have discussed politics with him in this country. And every other time we try to persuade him, he will say, this one, I will take it to my grave. Therefore, he's a man we will miss, and he is a man who has left a lot of marks in people's life. May the Lord rest his soul, and may God Almighty help his family through. And Mr. Speaker, we must really make a decision as this House, because we have lost people. We have lost a lot of senior citizens in this country just because of lack of oxygen. In the county of Isiolo, the last 1 month, we have lost about 8 people, just because my county cannot provide oxygen. And they are being rushed to Nairobi, and they all die on the way. Therefore, as a House, Mr. Speaker, we must really address this issue. Thank you.
Now, there was some hue and cry about the female gender, isn't it? Honorable Adagala.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. On my behalf and the people of Vihiga County and ANC National Congress, as a party, we want to mourn our colleague, Honorable Justice Makoka Murunga. Murunga was a great man. He talked to me last, telling me that I should inform other members that he's unwell admitted in Aga Khan, Kisumu, of which I did. So within a short time, I learned that he has passed on. I wish to say on behalf of the Aman National Congress, I wish to say to the family of Honorable Murunga, may God see them through this trying moment. And as a party, we are mourning him greatly. During the campaigns, I remember we used to traverse in the sugarcane farms looking for votes for him. But he has gone to rest. May I say, may his soul rest in eternal peace, and the family take heart. ANC family, we are mourning. We are mourning a great son of the soil, from the Mumia lineage in Matungu, Mumias, Kakamega County. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Elsie Muhanda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this moment. I wish to convey the condolences of the people of Kakamega County and my family for the loss of this great man, Honorable Murunga. Mr. Speaker, it comes at a time when Kakamega has faced a lot of deaths. We have lost 4 doctors just recently. So as Mama County, I have a very heavy heart at this particular time. And Mheshimiwa Murunga, Mr. Speaker, was one member who did not look at whether you are in ODM, ANC, Jubilee. He cut across all of us. He supported me as a woman rep in my affirmative action. He supported me on matters of widows, on matters of the youth, on the matters of those living with special needs. Surely we are going to miss him. And Mr. Speaker, I urge the media, you know, this is a time that we are mourning, but you find that in all medias, you find all sorts of allegations on the honorable member. Let the media be kind to our honorable Murunga. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Well, of course, I did indicate that in keeping with our Parliamentary Service Commission practice, we have an ad hoc committee chaired by the Majority Whip, who indeed was the first person to break the news to me on Saturday night, Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Navaholo, on behalf of my family, and on my own behalf, allow me, Honorable Speaker, to pass my sincere condolences to the family and the people of Matungu following the demise of my colleague, Honorable Murunga Justice. Honorable Speaker, back at home, Honorable Murunga is my neighbor. The constituencies border each other, mine and that of Mheshimiwa Washali and Mheshimiwa Murunga. Honorable Murunga, to me, Honorable Speaker, was a dear friend. We interacted, he visited my constituency, and actually the last time he was in my constituency, we were doing an Arambe for the Catholic Church, and he actually came and supported me so dearly. I've also severally been to his constituency. Mine is just to say, Honorable Speaker, this great man had 2 peculiar characteristics, Honorable Speaker. One, Honorable Murunga would rather leave the meeting early, but he would never let you down when it comes to an appointment. He was one serious man who kept time. When I was his vice chair on the Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Speaker, he was one of the reliable members whom I could know that tomorrow we are going to have this quorum, and he did, he had the quorum. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Murunga also, his character was friendship. He never knew one single party. From the time he joined this assembly, Honorable Speaker, he treated himself as a leader, and he cut across all political divide. He was a friend to any legislator in this House, Honorable Speaker. And that, Honorable Speaker, made me to really look at Honorable Murunga as a leader who would go miles, who would take the people of Matungu far. In that point, Honorable Speaker, and in line with the task you've given me through PSC to chair the committee of his funeral, I'll just, Honorable Speaker, say I'll do that task honorably and seek that my colleagues support me in terms of planning so that we move and let the funeral of the great man, this Honorable Murunga, move on very well. Just to remind colleagues, Honorable Speaker, the only living kingdom we have in the country is the Wanga Kingdom. And Honorable Speaker, Mumia Nabongo has a shrine where all of us can go and visit. It is domiciled in Matungu, Honorable Speaker. So this great man is on the lineage of Nabongo and is laid down, he will be laid down, Honorable Speaker, honorably to follow the suit of King Nabongo of Mumia. With those very many words, Honorable Speaker, I say, may God rest his soul in eternity.
Honorable Sotsi, finally.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also join my colleagues and on my own behalf and my family to also convey my special condolences to the family, friends, and the good people of Matungu constituency for the demise of our colleague, Honorable Justice Murunga. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Murunga was very close to me, and that friendship started way back in 2017, just before the general election, when I had an opportunity to serve as the Secretary General of ANC party. And Honorable Murunga, he displayed a rare virtue of resilience, because Honorable Murunga, during the nomination, he faced numerous litigants, opponents, who dragged him all through to all courts. And he remained firm, consistent, and eventually, Mr. Speaker, he won the election. Ever since that, we have always remained close friends, even though on one or two occasions we could have divergent opinion on matters of politics. But I have on many occasions visited his constituency to conduct various development activity, and he has also visited my home in Vihiga. So I have lost a great friend, a member of my party, and someone who loved everyone, and someone who took a stand, and it would be very difficult to change his position on matters of politics or ideology. As we mourn our friend, we are aware that our friend had huge expectations about the challenges the sugarcane farmers are facing, especially in the Mumias sugar belt, and it was his hope that during his tenure as a member of parliament for Matungu, the issue of Mumias Sugar Company would be resolved. So I wish that we work towards realizing what he thought in terms of revival of the sugar industry. For those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say pole to the family of Justice Murunga, and we look forward to giving our colleague a befitting send-off. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very, very finely, Honorable Ishongwa. Sorry, we can't, there are too many requests, and I do appreciate.
Thank you, Honorable. I wish to join my colleagues in conveying my condolences to the family, friends, relatives, and the people of Matungu on the unfortunate demise of the late Honorable Murunga. It is sad, Honorable Speaker, to be standing before this House today to mourn a brother, a colleague, and an honorable member, Honorable Speaker, who I can speak without any fear of contradiction to say is a man who loved his people, the people of Matungu, was very committed to the cause of uplifting the lives of the people of Matungu. And in return, Honorable Speaker, because I joined Honorable Murunga only towards the end of last month at Indangalasia in Matungu constituency for a church function, together with the Deputy President, and I witnessed that indeed the people of Matungu did love their Member of Parliament and paid him back the love and the commitment that he had. Honorable Speaker, when I was fortunate to have served this House as the chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, I can state again without any fear of contradiction that there isn't, probably besides Honorable Washiali, there isn't any other Member of Parliament from the Western Kenya sugar belt who was more committed to the issue of Mumias Sugar Company than the late Honorable Murunga. Not once, not twice, not thrice, Honorable Speaker, during the budget making process, Honorable Murunga would confront me along the corridors and tell me in Swahili, Bwana Chairman, kama hakuna pesa ya Mumiasi, hakuna budget. And he was very consistent on that. If there is no money for Mumia Sugar to revive Mumia Sugar, there is no budget. Honorable Speaker, in 2018-2019 budget process, when we conducted the public participation meetings in Kakamega, I did not manage myself to go to Kakamega, but the members who went to Kakamega will bear me witness, those who serve in the Budget and Appropriations Committee, that is a time that the people of Matungu had serious insecurity issues. And the one request that the Honorable Murunga went to before the budget committee with was the establishment of the construction of a police station in Matungu that helped to stem the insecurity issues that were there. And I thank God and thank the Budget and Appropriations Committee and this House that this House was able to step in to help not just Honorable Murunga, but the people of Matungu, and that will stand as a lasting legacy by